Wow, Kawasaki launched another entry-level dual sport yesterday. The KLX 300 is here, and if you couple that with the KLX 250, Kawasaki is making a serious push at having the best beginner dual sport motorcycle. Real quick, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, please take a moment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We would really appreciate your support. Over the past 6-8 weeks, maybe it's been that long, Kawasaki has done a nice job of building up the hype. They've had these bikes under the veil, for lack of a better term, and maybe even literally if you went and referenced their website, but they've had this planned new vehicle launch for quite some time, and of course there was a lot of speculation. Some people speculated that they would be launching a new dual sport model like Honda did with their 450L a few years ago. Others thought that maybe they'd be replacing the KLR 650, a tried and tested machine. And some like myself thought they may actually launch an adventure bike. Well, I'm here to tell you, none of those things happened, but not all is lost, especially if you're transitioning to this sport of dual sport or adventure riding. Look, this bike, I believe, is going to be a great one for beginners and seasoned riders alike. Let's talk about some of the most important specs. Number one for me, full-size wheels. 21-inch front, 18-inch rear wheel, which is pretty standard for off-road. A smaller front wheel, look, it's not as comfortable riding off-road. You're not going to roll over rocks or over bumps as easy with a smaller front, so that's a nice touch. You've got about 9 inches of suspension travel and a 43mm front fork. So comparatively, my KTM 790 adventure bike has a little bit more travel and a much larger, more sophisticated front fork. Of course, it wouldn't be much of a dual sport without electric start, and the 300 is powered by a 292cc liquid-cooled 4-stroke engine. And this is funny. It's going to kind of date me a little bit, but this particular power plant has been around for a long time. We used to have a riding buddy, if you will, that we rode with quite frequently, and he had a KLX 300 at the time. Now, back then it was really targeted at trail riders. It wasn't a dual sport machine, but this bike has actually been around for quite some time. They've just repurposed it, updated it, so on and so forth. But if you're concerned about reliability or something like that, look, this power plant again has been around for quite some time. Last couple of things here in terms of specs I want to touch on. This is a big one for a lot of people, and sometimes it's more of an issue for women than it is men, but the seat height is about 35 inches, so you're starting off with a relatively low seat height. The weight of the bike is 302 pounds. They call that curb weight, which I believe is with all the fluids or whatever. 302 pounds, look, it's probably 60 pounds heavier than a KTM Dual Sport. That being said, it's about half the price of a new KTM 350 or 500 EXC. In fact, the Kawasaki KLX 300 comes in between $55.99 and $57.99. So you could essentially buy two of these for the price of one KTM. Last little thing I want to touch on, 2-gallon tank. I would wager to say that these things get pretty good gas mileage, but it would be nice to see something in the realm of at least 2.5 to 3 gallons. But that's pretty much what you get from the specs perspective. And overall, yeah, this is a great beginner-ish dual sport bike. You got a low seat height, you've got a reliable power plant, the power is not going to overwhelm you, you've got good suspension, everything is there. Totally street legal bike. This is a good platform to start on. So what are your thoughts on the new KLX 300? Are you disappointed? Are you encouraged? Were you anticipating a new adventure bike like me? Or were you anticipating a replacement KLR 650? Look, I know there was a lot of conversation about that stuff, but this is what you get. And again, I think this is probably one of the best beginner dual sport motorcycles out there. Regardless, I want to hear what you have to say. Drop a comment in the description below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe.